because I know going into the game, as soon as the starters were announced, there was like this backlash. Like, why is Devin Booker starting over Anthony Edwards? Why is he starting over Jason Tatum? And to a certain degree, I get it, because if most people in the NBA pecking order, like Tatum just won a title, Ant just swept Book's team out of the playoffs. So I get why in their minds in the pecking order, like Book should be lower. But FIBA is different. FIBA is not NBA. Like, this Olympic team is different. And you need somebody who's going to come in and do the dirty work, who's going to play defense, who's going to be okay with playing off the ball and being more of a role guy and being a star in that role. And I think we saw that too, because I know the starters got off to a slow start. But then when the bench checks in, you get to unleash Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum and let them create as many shots as they want. I feel like if you put that in the starting lineup, especially when KD comes back, it might be like too much of the same thing.
Yeah, I think the great transition that the U.S. team has made over the last 2 decades, if you will, is just the fact that they're not relying just on star power. They've actually built a system and built that kind of these checkpoints as you go along to make sure that team chemistry is where it is. Guys that are going to be on the team are invested and want to be on the team. Because for a little while there, it was just kind of not an afterthought. It wasn't like the all-star level, kind of like, I don't really want to do it. But the best of the best weren't necessarily joining the team either, because they had other priorities. And then, you see that we don't win a gold medal one time and everything changes back to, okay, we need to take this more seriously, because it's disrespectful to not be first in basketball in the world. Like, it is.
Yeah.
So I like the way that they kind of go about this, and it's not necessarily always about the best players going to be it's not going to be the best 5.
Right.
It's going to be the best fitting 5. And then there's going to be strategy to it. And so, I think when you're talking about who's starting, that could be overblown for sure.
It can. And I think that's important. That was one of my big takeaways, is like Book said it after the game, like the rest of the world is catching up. They've caught up. It can't just be throwing talent at the situation and expecting to win like we did in the past. It's about who's going to fit with Steph Curry, LeBron James, KD when he's back, Joel Embiid, who had a really rough game. And I think there's a case for like a Drew Holiday. There's a case for Devin Booker. I think Steve Kerr said earlier in the week he's going to try different lineups and see what works. So don't be surprised if Book is out of the starting lineup in the next exhibition game or whatever, just to see what works.